Hi everyone, it's Nithara, and today I'm going to be going over the Encore Scene Pack, Oblivion Dream. Just a quick reminder, you only get what's listed in the pack contents right here, you do not get the display outfit. So today I'm going to be going over the Chat Bubble Bamboo Perception, the Still Pose Perching Phoenix, of course the Scene Attic in Clouds, and the Dynamic Pose Snow Swirl. So here's the scene as a whole. You do have this nice layering system of pavilions right here. And without the character in the way, you can see some more of the details. There's a lot of like little 3D assets in here to really fill this scene out and make it feel really nice and cozy and mystical. And of course, I love this like almost, it's not like a portal, but this small moon right here with the petals that flow towards that like blue and purple aura area. I think that's gorgeous. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but it definitely gives me like Chinese mythology vibes. I know they have a lot of magic-y type things going on in their mythology that reminds me of this. It's really pretty, and we do have this table in home mode, but it's like a different color, or maybe just the lighting of the scene is making it look different. I think it's white. I'd prefer us have a white one too. I don't know. If y'all have played The Sims, then you're probably used to having like color options for furniture pieces, which is what I hope they'll implement one day for home mode for us. But, you know, who knows if they'll ever do that. I would really like it at least. I also really like these little wind chimes right here. And I think these are like little lucky bags. Those are super cute. And here's your posable area. It's pretty big. You can be all around this platform. You can go really high up. And your sink is the average sink. So the scene does dive down over here in the front. I can't really say it's water. It doesn't give water vibes. It's kind of just like a blue mist that comes up. Maybe like a cloud or something that makes it go off into the rest of the clouds. But you can sort of be in it if you're interested in that. And then you could have like this as your background, like just the plain sky. Let me see what that looks like with DOF. Kind of blur that horizon a little bit. I don't think anything really blurred. Oh, it did a little bit, not too much though. The shadows are also really harsh on the doll all the way up here. So maybe not. I mean, of course, maybe you can make it work. And right here is an up-close view of how far you can go back. You can just go right beyond the edge of this pavilion set right here. So you can just be barely on the opposite edge. But that does mean that you can pose anywhere on top of this platform that you'd like. So that is excellent. And I do like that you can kind of be back here with this glowy moon, or whatever this thing is. It's definitely a moon piece. I think we even have this object in home mode, but this is as close as you can get, which kind of sucks, but at least you can be here at all. Also really like these little mini tree plants. Those are pretty. Also, I've never noticed before, but the way these objects, these wind chimes, are warbling, like look at this thing. Why is it jiggling like that? That's kind of hilarious. Maybe it's to show the effect of whatever that moon is doing to the area, the gravitational pull. Maybe it's meant to show that. Can you see that from the front? No, not really. What an odd effect to apply to that, you know? But anyway, let me show you the lighting. So here's the lighting versus the standard blue scene lighting. And here's the lighting from the front, from the right, from the back, and from the left. And here's the lighting on the palest and darkest shade. Looks great on both of them. I never have any issues with the lighting in here. But of course, as always, if you pump up the halo too high or you put on a darkening filter, you're gonna blow out and black out, either or. And here's our full body pose, Perching Phoenix. This one does come with this handheld. Even if you don't have a handheld in, I still like it. It looks good. And if you change this out, looks fine. I also like how her feet are crossed at the bottom. I think that's really cute. With the two-hand is still super cute too. Especially if you're doing like a lineup, if you want to showcase all your dolls in one picture, I think this is really a cute option. And of course it works with a right handheld. Is this a right? That's a left handheld. I always get it backwards, sorry. But I think it works really cute with this one too. Though, I mean, it could just be because it's the vase. Let me check a different one. No, I still think it's cute because the hands are posed so nicely by themselves that it works either way. And let's go ahead with focus. Doesn't change too much, but I mean, it's still useful. And here's our dynamic pose, Snow Swirl. Again, it comes with a hand fan. And I do believe actually some of the fans like don't work with this. It is nice that this one does though, because I like how the big ribbon just kind of like flings about. It's really cool. So, oops, I did not mean to do that. Also, there's a lot of light particles with this one, which I don't like. I really wish that was an option to turn those off. Of course, it's taking me forever to find a hand fan. So the first one I found works. There it is. So it's this one that doesn't work. For some reason, you can't use the Phoenix feather fan. I think that is the only one though, because I do have this other black one on. And then the only one that's beyond this point, I believe, is the default one that comes with the still pose. And I do believe that one does work. But I'm going to check it regardless, just in case, because I don't want to give you wrong information. There it is, leafy part. But let me go ahead and play this dynamic pose without the camera on, so you can kind of see the movements a bit better. This one is full of movement, but again, you do have to fight with the light particles, which I really don't like because they're pink, and a lot of the times I just don't want those pink particles in my fit and kind of like really get out of the way. But there is good news. Sometimes you can get it to, like, if you pause her and those light particles are stuck there, you can just move her over. But on this one, it does come with the shooting sparks. Let me see if we get to a point where she's not spitting those out. But sometimes you can get rid of those, sometimes you can't. I don't think the sparks ever stop coming out of this fan. So maybe if you're not a fan of the sparks and the petals, this might be a little bit aggravating for you to work with. It's a good pose, lots of movement, but again, you do have to fight the sparks. And even if you take the handheld off, those sparks are still there. And here's our expression for Perching Phoenix. It is just a side smile. Her eyebrows slightly go down a little bit, but that's about it. I can't say there's anything special about it. And then our expression for Snow Swirl. There's a nice view, like where she's looking up a bit. I do like those. But her mouth doesn't move all that much. Oh my gosh, this thing is always resetting and it drives me insane. I don't know why it does that. And she looked down for a really long time right then. I got a little nervous that it got stuck. So it's a lot of smiles, but no exaggerated emotions in here. And now I'm going to click through the filters so you can see how you might be able to change the ambiance of the scene. And our retouch settings. Halo. Gets really bright from the back, and then those little lamps, of course. DOF. And your white balance. Your saturation. I never noticed that like giant yellow spot on the moon before. And your contrast. And as for posing and hotspots and everything, I've posed all over this scene. Like I said, I've used the pavilion before, and if I have been in the pavilion, I'm always, let me speed this up. I'll be on the wooden part like over here, but I'll have it faced, the camera faced this way, because it's just a little too boring to be faced off this way. And then the same thing for the opposite side, I'll be having my camera face inwards so that there's more of those 3D assets to add life and comfort to the picture so it doesn't feel so barren. And some of the glow spots for this one, you can be like right here, you do hit a spot, but there's a lot in the way. So I've never been able to use this very well because I just don't want all that junk in the way. Like as soon as you pop up, you're still like kind of halfway in it, and of course you're still in the lamp. So I mean, it's just a little more difficult to use. And it's the same for the other lamp. But I do like that if you use one of the seated postures, you can, not postures, one of the seated poses, you can have her look like she is seated at this little desk, which I think is really cool. But if you come up further, again, you hit that light spot within the desk. So you can actually use that if you're gonna go for a very up close shot for the face. It turns my doll super yellow though. Let me try it with a different doll. My doll's yellow to begin with, so it could just be like a factor of that. Alright, so I did stick the palest doll in here, and I do really like it on her as well. It's a nice glow, so let me try it on the darker tone too. It gives her a very nice red glow, which I'm in love with. I'm definitely going to try and take pictures with this soon. I adore it. And just for reference, let me pop her out of it so you can see what she looks like without being in that light. So it definitely, I think I went too fast, gives her a nice red glow. Gorgeous. But besides that, I don't think I've ever used this scene for posing anywhere else. I'm usually just in this area right here, or at least looking towards this zone. It is just like an open courtyard, so it's pretty good for courtyard stuff. I can imagine those Chinese dramas where like the concubines are fighting in the courtyard, you know? Just something like that. And here's our Jet Bubble Bamboo Perception. This one I'm not a big fan of. I wish the ombre was a bit higher, like it faded accurately 50-50, and then even the like transition zone was a bit bigger. I do like the bamboo stalks on the side. I think that's really cute. I'm not a fan of the black text either. It just doesn't, the blue and the pink and then the bamboo doesn't really vibe too well in my opinion. I'm not sure what that is, why it's not clicking for me. If it had matched the scene, like instead of those bamboo stalks, it had been those like pretty blue trees or whatever inside of there. Or if they wanted to keep the bamboo stalks, they changed the color of the chat bubble to match the feel of the bamboo a bit better. I mean, it's not a terrible chat bubble, it's just not something I'll ever personally use. But that is everything I have for the Oblivion Dream Pack. I do find this scene gorgeous. It is so pretty. I love all the trees and the Chinese framework and then like the little wind chimes. And of course the petals are super pretty, and the moon in the back with the aura that comes off of it is gorgeous. I do use the poses a lot. I don't use the dynamic pose because of the sparks, and I don't use the chat bubble, but half of it is in my favor, so I'm okay with it. But I do hope this helped you decide if you would like to purchase this pack and add it to your collection or not. Don't forget to check my tracker below. I do have all the upcoming scenes and all, like I just have every scene listed because they don't like to make it easy to find this stuff. So I do have it all listed in the tracker so you can see what's upcoming, what has been done in the past, in case you'd rather just save your money and wait for something else. But that is everything I have, so I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye!